we're seeing immense turnout. For one, we're hearing that the youth vote, the student vote, is especially high. We're deeply concerned, I will say, about long lines at college campuses all across Pennsylvania, and there needs to be more that is done right now to ensure that, for example, those polling places are, are able to be kept open a little longer because of these delays, understaffment, things like that. Certainly no, very much kind of just, I think folks were not necessarily expecting youth vote to be so high, but it is, and that's incredibly exciting for an election like this. We're hearing that folks are excited to vote, and that, in terms of our community, so many folks are specifically excited to vote for Vice President Harris and other, candidates that we're backing up and down the ballot. And so far today we have 100 folks out there knocking on doors, mobilizing the vote in our Asian neighborhoods all across the Commonwealth. We have volunteers at polling places, some of them providing critical interpretation and election protection support to voters. Some of them kind of, in a separate program working to combat misinformation that we're seeing, as well as just the ways we're seeing some, right wing Trump supporters showing up at polling places and intimidating our folks. Intimidation is unacceptable when it comes to supporting our communities to cast a ballot. And so we're ensuring that we're getting organizations like the ACLU involved, that we're sending our own observers, and especially again that we're especially intervening predominantly, I will say, in a nonpartisan way to ensure that our voters have the language access, our elders especially have the language access that is their right as a citizen, as a voter to access. And we want to make sure that if local governments are not providing that, that we're able to dispatch a volunteer, or another Asian American local organization is able to dispatch a volunteer in order to fill in that critical gap and translate and interpret for that voter. We're one of very few Asian American organizations working on election day all across Pennsylvania. But I have to shout out especially Asian Americans United, which is based in Chinatown, and has been doing amazing work to support the Chinese community to vote, as well as BCAP, the Bhutanese Community Association of Pittsburgh, which is similarly working day in and day out to ensure that Nepali-speaking Nepali and Bhutanese voters in Pittsburgh have rides to the polls, have that interpretation, that elders who aren't able to stand in line, for hours at a time, are able to get the support they need, and that is their right as an elder voter as well. And so this is, we are part of a coalition and ecosystem, and we have leadership all across the state that is working incredibly hard to not just get out the vote, but ensure that all of our votes are counted, that this election is secure despite all of this misinformation that we're hearing from all the usual suspects saying otherwise. This election is safe.